Hello, this is Tyson Farmer from TysonFarmer.com. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 6 things not to do when playing slide guitar. Playing the slide guitar can look deceptively easy when you see someone doing it right, but it can be a lot trickier to master than you think. There are so many things you can do to screw it up, because when you're just starting out, you're not aware yet how your actions are contributing to it sounding wrong. So to best show you how to play the slide guitar, I think it's actually better to start with what not to do, since these are the stumbling blocks that slow most people down at first. Let's get right into it. Thing not to do number 1. Don't press down hard on the strings with the slide. This is tricky because your natural guitar instincts will take over and make you want to press down hard on the strings you're playing. But a good slide technique is just a gentle touch and a little push on the strings. If you do press down hard, you'll either hear that segmented sound of the guitar sliding on each of the frets, which kind of defeats the whole purpose, or your slide might start clacking against the edges of the metal frets themselves, which is annoying. If you have a guitar with very high string action, however, you'll find you can press down a little harder on the strings without pushing them against the metal fret bars. Some people actually prefer playing slide on a guitar with high action on purpose for this reason. So if you have an old guitar with a bowed neck and high string action, don't throw it out just yet until you try some slide guitar out on it. Who knows, you might just be able to repurpose it as your dedicated slide guitar. Thing not to do number 2. Don't make the slide be the only thing touching your guitar strings. If you do, the side of the string that you're picking will ring, but so will the length of string on the other side of the slide. This creates a sort of annoying ghost note where you'll hear your picked notes going up in pitch, for example, but you'll also hear the other side of the string going down in pitch at the same time, since it's ringing against the side of the slide too. This is why you have to use your remaining fingers on the other side of the slide to dampen the strings on that side and prevent them from ringing. This is part of proper slide technique and hand position, and it'll make your notes sound pure and clean when you do it right. Thing not to do number 3. Don't place your slide in the fret space between the metal fret bars. As guitarists, we're trained to think of the notes happening in between the metal fret bars, since that's where we place our fingertips. However, the actual string is vibrating from the metal fret bar over. You're just pressing the string down between the metal fret bar spaces so it can do so. So when you're playing with a slide, start thinking of the notes as actually living right on the fret bars themselves. If you don't, all the notes you play are going to sound a little flat and out of tune with any other instrument or background track you're playing with. You'll have to center the slide contact point right over the fret bar itself, that is positioned to the right of where you'd normally place your fingertip for the note you want to play. For lefties, this will be to the left of your fingertip. So that means this is the 1st fret, that's the 2nd fret, that's the 3rd fret, and so on. Thing not to do number 4. Don't position the slide at an angle across the strings. If I play an open A chord, I can place my fingertips at different positions in the space between the fret bars. But the actual notes are happening from the metal fret bar on, remember? So that means regardless of what I normally do with my fingers, I'll have to position the slide perfectly straight and parallel with the fret bar itself if I want to get notes that are in pitch. If I don't, I get this gross sound. It's for this reason that a lot of slide players prefer having the slide on the ring finger of their fretting hand, since the pinky tends to naturally flare out at an angle a lot easier. Notice I have to twist my wrist in a little bit so it maintains a vertical position that's parallel to each fret, no matter what part of the neck I'm at. Thing not to do number 5. Only play in standard tuning. Since the slide is an all-or-nothing vertical affair like we just discussed, there are limited opportunities for you to easily play full chord forms with the slide. Outlining A major or E minor shaped bar chords are the only versatile possibilities in standard tuning, since they're the only common chords that have 3 vertical chord tones in a row across the strings. An A major shape would look like this, and an E minor shape would look like this. This still gives you some limited options. However, to really maximize their playing options, most slide players sidestep this problem by tuning their guitar in open tunings. That's because open tunings are the only guitar tunings that create a chord shape that's a straight line down the frets, making it ideal for slide. The most common open tuning in slide guitar is G open tuning, but different slide players use different open tunings too, depending on their preferences. If you don't know what open tuning is, unfortunately that's a pretty big subject that's outside the scope of this video. However, I've made a course on Udemy that's designed to not only teach you everything you need to know about using a wide variety of electronic, dedicated, online, and phone app tuners to tune your guitar in standard tuning, but by the end of the course, it also teaches you how you can easily tune in any open, drop standard, or alternate tuning you might come across. It will also teach you a lot about the basic terminology and concepts I'll be taking for granted that you already know in this video, so it's easier to follow, like the names and numbers of the strings, rest stroke versus free stroke picking, and so forth. This course is great for absolute beginners, but most intermediate to intermediate advanced players will find themselves learning a lot of things that they might have missed along the way. Check below this video for the links and to see if I am offering any coupon codes for this class. Thing not to do number 6. Don't just leave strings ringing without a game plan. If I arpeggiate that A chord with my fingers and add a little sus4 action, the other strings aren't affected by that one string's embellishment. If I try the same thing with a slide, however, the other notes I played kind of get dragged along as I go for that sus4 embellishment, since with a slide it's kind of all or nothing. This means you're going to have to mute any ringing strings before you make any movements with the slide that you don't intend all the ringing notes to follow. This is why, although it's not a requirement, a lot of slide players either finger pick or hybrid pick so they can use their other fingers to kill strings before they make another movement. So, those are the 6 things not to do when playing slide guitar. This subject can go deeper than what I've talked about here, but those are the 6 most important things that I think contribute to getting a good, clean slide sound. If you're interested in playing slide guitar and want a solid start, check out my next video, How to Play Slide Guitar, The Basics. This is Tyson Farmer from TysonFarmer.com. If you want to dive deeper into music theory concepts, or even just improve your technique, speed, and song playing chops, check out my online teaching profile using my link in the comments below. Thanks for watching, stay self-motivated, and keep playing. This is Tyson Farmer from TysonFarmer.com. If you want to dive deeper...